Kauravas.
Yes.
Mataji.
The first one is there is no enjoyment, sinful act.
Yes. First was compassion.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Pankaji.
Compassion,
Yes.
sympathy, and forcing, forcing inhibit the death,
Okay.
not due to weakness, but due to his soft heartedness
Okay.
and fighting spirit.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Anyone else would like to add or correct?
Destruction of family.
Yes, Mataji.
Then
Okay, Mataji. So
indecision.
yeah, indecision. Thank you, Mataji. So in fact, basically, first was compassion. When the chariot was brought in the middle between the two armies, the first reaction was that he saw his elders.
Compassion.
And also there was compassion in his heart because he was a soft-hearted
Yes.
person, a pure devotee, didn't want to hurt anyone, including the enemies he didn't want to kill. Second was there was no enjoyment. If everybody gets killed,
Enjoyment.
how he is going to enjoy the kingdom? Third was that he was afraid of sinful reactions. If he kills somebody, kills his teachers, Guru Hatya, then it will be a big sin. And not only that, Guru, but all the people, if they get killed by him, the soldiers, including his own army, then there shall be reaction to this sinful activity. And fourth was destruction of the dynasty. That is, the family traditions will be destroyed.
Family tradition.
Yes, but
And the last one is indecision.
so last was indecision. So these were 5 reasons. Now this Sanjay is telling all this, narrating all these happenings in the battlefield to Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra, initially, what was his attitude? Was he very hopeful of his victory of his son? Was he thinking, anticipating that we will win? He was not. He was very desperate. That is why Kim Samveta Yusava Mamkaha Pandavasya, he already had, in fact, been partial to his sons. And he was hopeful that, yes, Pandavas might, forego their right for kingdom. And he was fearful because the holy place might have effect. He was desirous because he wanted his son to be victorious in the battle. So after listening, when Sanjay told the Dhritarashtra that the Pandavas are not ready to fight because Arjuna is very disappointed and compassionate, and he is very fearful of his sinful reactions, and all those reasons which he gave to Lord Krishna, that he is not going to fight ultimately. He was in a very bad position. His skin was burning, hair was standing up, mouth was drying up, and everything, the hands were trembling, arms were, were falling down. The bow was, Kandi was falling down from his hand. And he was so very, very upset. So narrating all this happening to Dhritarashtra gave some ray of hope in the heart of Dhritarashtra. Perhaps Pandava may not fight now, and the kingdom will be retained by Duryodhana, his sons. So that was initial. But we come to chapter 2 now. Just to begin, to give you a background, this happiness or joy that Dhritarashtra was enjoying was just very momentary only. Because then Krishna inspires in this chapter and onwards. Krishna directs and inspires Arjuna to fight. And also, not only fight, but he gives many philosophical reasons of karma yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga. And also reminds him about his duty as a Kshatriya under the Varna Ashrama system. And also, lastly, he gives an analytical study, philosophy of body and soul, which is called Sankhya Yoga. So far, we have, heard about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. Now, Lord will tell about analytical study also, that is called Sankhya Yoga. Does anybody know what is Sankhya Yoga? All of you have done level 1?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sankhya Yoga, the Gautama Rishi, it is given by Gautama Rishi, and in which the Prakriti Purusha and all the 25 tattva of materialistic world it is given in that, and as and it is the base of the Yoga Darshan.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else would like to give a much simpler definition?
We are not the body, we are the soul.
Thank you, Mataji. So, analytical study of material and the spirit, matter and the spirit, or material nature and the spirit soul. So that is analytical study, and that is what is the basis for his teaching, main teaching here in the. Now, when we talk about study, I was talking about material concept of life and the spiritual concept of life. So most of the times, all of us are, our soul is contaminated. We are talking in the terms of body only. This is my body. This is my shirt. This is my office. This is my house. This is my property. But who am I really? So as Mataji just now said, so we are really soul. Which we really identify, which we really, in fact, speak out boldly that I am not this body, I am the soul. So Lord Krishna is going to give Arjuna this kind of knowledge now and make him sure that you are not killing anybody, because the soul is indestructible. It is not cut, it is not gets moist, it is not dries up, and it remains there. The living entity is eternal. Only the body is perishable, that is consisting of matter. So with this background, let us pray to Shri Radha Govindji. We will start today's discussion. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjan Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Om Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedant Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarini. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktabinda. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deenbandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapt Kanchan Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrashubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees, and welcome to today's class. We shall begin with chapter 2, and I'll try to cover about 15 verses only, because we have a lot of time, and so that we finish in the time as well. So this is just a recapitulation of chapter 1, from 1 to 27, introduction, preparation for war, and from 28 to 26, Arjuna was dominating and talking to Krishna and explaining his different kind of doubts and fears, and also his ultimately indecision, which comes in 2.6, chapter number 2, verse number 6, that 4 reasons for not fighting were given by Arjuna in chapter number 1. And also, we discussed 6 types of aggressors. We talked about 6 opulences of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all those things, and 4 inherent defects in human beings or living entities. We discussed about those in chapter number 1. So now, beginning with this is a graphic representation, we can see, of observing the armies and Arjuna's reasons for not wishing to fight. The first reason, you can see, it was compassion. He was very pure-hearted, kind Vaishnava of highest grade, a devotee of Lord Krishna, and he did not want to kill anyone. He could not. A pure Vaishnava never hurts or damages anybody's property or health or anything. Second reason, there was no enjoyment. If everybody is killed, what shall I do with the kingdom? Because happiness is shared with friends and relatives. If there is no relative, then I shall be tainted with the blood of my relatives and my gurus and my grandfathers and all those people, how can I enjoy sitting on their throne? And fourth reason, he gave the destruction of family tradition. I told you there were four steps in the destruction of family tradition. When elders are killed, the purificatory processes of sanskar do not take place. They are not carried forward. And where there are no sanskar, the ladies becomes, there is irreligion in society and ladies become corrupt, and there is Varna Shankara or unwanted progeny is born. And when unwanted progeny is born, that religious practices come to a full stop. And result is the person who is doing it goes to Narak. The social activities and other social welfare programs of the administration, they stop, and there is no pleasure anywhere. There is utter chaos in the society. And the fourth reason which we gave, that he was a saintly person, a pure devotee, as a pure Vaishnava. How could he damage the health of anyone? Even at the cost of, losing his kingdom, he was prepared to go to forest, live by begging, and rather being killed by Duryodhana unarmed, but rather than killing all those people. So he was such a saintly person and pure at heart that he did not want to commit any kind of sin. Now in chapter 2.6, as I told you, the fifth reason, that is indecision, he was confused, bewildered. What should I do now? As a Kshatriya, should I fight here or I should run away from the battlefield? So this is the status which he expresses. Then he surrenders to Lord. Now you will notice that in chapter number 1, till now he was talking to his friend Krishna. He was just, considering Krishna as a supreme, not as a supreme personality of Godhead, but as an old friend with whom he had been sleeping, he had been eating, he had been even cheating and, making joke of Krishna also. Now, so that wisdom dawns upon him now at this stage, and you can see in the arrow, Arjun surrenders to Lord Krishna. So from friend, so what was this mellow or relationship till now of the 5 type of bhav? There are 5 relationships for 5 bhav.
Guru, friend,
No, Mataji. Bhava, rasa.
Sankhya ras.
That was Sakhiras. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. So till now it was, what are those, in correct order, what are those 5 rasas? First is?
Madhurya rasa.
Nahi, Mataji. That is, first
No?
is Shant, neutral. First is Shant. Second is Dasya. Third is Sakhya. Right? Fourth, first is, Shantaras, then Dasiras, then Sakhiras, then Madhuriras, then Vatsaliras, and then Madhuriras. Madhur is at the topmost end of 5 primary rasas, and there are 7 secondary rasas. So till now, he was not he was slightly above, he was middle placed. I mean, from, Shant to Sakhya, to Dasya, to Sakhya, and Sakhya to Vatsalya, and Vatsalya to Madhurya. Who can you quote an example of Vatsalya ras, Vatsalya kind of relationship? You have read it.
Yashoda Mata.
Yashoda Mata.
Yashoda.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji, Prabhuji. And what about Madhurya ras? Who's the ultimate of
Gopis.
Gopis and also Radharani, Mataji.
Radharani.
Radharani, right? So here now he surrenders to Lord Krishna and he accepts him as a spiritual master or guru. Now he's no longer Sakhya, he become in the category of Dasya. And when we learn all whatever we have learned is from our gurus and elders. So when we pay respect to them as a spiritual master or a guru and serve them, then only learning flows into us, So that is the change, attitudinal change so Lord, then when he surrenders, then Lord Krishna reveals transcendental knowledge. And what is that transcendental knowledge? As Mataji just now told, that you are not killing bodies, you are not killing the persons, you are because the person is eternal and that person is super soul and super soul inside your body. you are killing the material body, which if you don't kill, even now, even if you don't kill, they are going to ultimately die because they are already in, when we will come to chapter number 11 of Bhagavad Gita, the universal form, Lord says that I have already killed them. So you are just nimitta matra, you are just you being my instrumental. So we come to chapter number 2 now with this background. Is these points clear, Prabhuji Mataji? Shall we proceed ahead or any doubts? Okay, so we,
Prabhuji,
yes, Mataji.
the rasa, you said 5 rasa, right? So first one is a Shanta rasa. Shanta rasa, where we can get the example?
Neutral rasa.
Neutral rasa. So we have any examples from our scriptures?
I cannot just now give you any examples. Let us remain in this order. Normally,
Okay.
yogis are in a the Mayavadis, they are in a shantras. They don't have any love. They don't have any dasya
They are
bhava.
in Shanta Bhava.
Yeah, yogis basically. We will discuss them when this topic comes in details, Mataji. Now,
Okay.
so this chapter number 2 is the Bhagavad Gita, contents of Bhagavad Gita summarized. That means we are talking about Karma Yoga, we are talking about Bhakti Yoga, we are also talking about Jnana Yoga. So there are multiple sections, and of course, analytical study of matter and spirit, or that is matter and the body and the mind, the soul or super soul. So chapter number 2 has got 10 verses related to Arjun's further doubts and his surrender. So we have already seen that 4 doubts were expressed in chapter 1, and fifth 2.6 describes his reason of he being indecisive about the battle, whether to fight or leave this place. Now, second section is Gyan Yoga, fight, there is no death for the soul. Then third section, C section, is regarding Karma Kand, fight, for gains come from dutifully fighting and losses come from not fighting. So dutifully fighting means that Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and is bound in duty to fight in the battlefield and challenge the enemy. When enemy challenges, a Kshatriya must fight and kill the enemy and give, of course, just administration to his subjects, take care of his subjects. These are some of the duties of a Kshatriya. So killing by a Kshatriya in battlefield or being killed is an assigned duty as per scriptures. So this is part of Karma Kand, and then we'll talk about Karma Kand, then we'll discuss about 3 types of work, the actions that are karma, akarma, and vikarma. We'll talk about them in details. The 4th section relates to Buddhi Yoga or Nishkam Karma. That is akarma, that is all the results are offered to Lord himself, and work is done or action is done as part of the duty. Then fight without any reaction. So as a Kshatriya, if Arjun is going to fight in the battlefield and he kills somebody, no sinful reaction. So Lord Krishna in this chapter has cleared or answered all 5 doubts, and also reminded him about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, as well as Bhakti Yoga. And the last section is Sthit Pragya, a person who is established in his godly consciousness. He is fixed in the Krishna consciousness. For him, there is no distraction. There is no doubt in his mind. He is Sthit Pragya. He is not affected by any dualities of life. So that stage is achieved in a very, very elevated person. So we'll take up section 1 just now. After Arjuna continues to express his doubts about fighting, he surrendered to Krishna for instruction. So this is section 1. In the last, he will surrender. So this is verse number 1. Anybody would like to read? Yes, Richa and Mataji.
Sanjaya describes Krishna, sees Arjuna lamenting like an ignorant man, and responds.
Sanjaya Uvastam Tatha Krapya Vishtam Ashnapurnam Purna Kulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Uvach Madhusudana. Madhusudana is referred to Krishna. He Uvach, he says now. Why he said being referred to here as Madhusudana? Anyone?
Killer of demon, Madhu.
Yes, Mataji. And what is the demon here in the battlefield?
Doubts.
Yes,
Doubts.
a demon of
And
misunderstanding in the mind of Arjuna. That is why he is saying all these things, right? So, next one. So, seeing Arjuna depressed, Lord Krishna thus spoke. He says now in 2.1, material compassion, we have seen that he was obsessed with compassion for his relatives, for his seniors, elders, teachers, friends, cousins, and so many army, both the sides of army. Then he was lamenting. There was lamentation that, oh, the lamentation is represented by the bodily or physical changes that he was experiencing, and he was shedding tears even. So these three signs are signs of ignorance, basically. They are not signs of a person who is a brave, a Kshatriya, and standing in the battlefield with a certain cause or goal to achieve. So he forgot that real self is eternal soul, whether it is Kripacharya or Dronacharya or Duryodhana or Bhishma Pitamaha, he is not killing their soul, which is eternal because soul cannot be killed. Now, Krishna says, so he is giving, direction for self-realization. Only can tell that we are not body, we are soul. So compassion for reason, for compassion has to be done away with because you are not killing the soul because soul is always eternal. Now, you can see this picture. What is happening? Anybody would like to define? Anyone? Pankaj Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You can see a person here.
Yeah, actually, it's person uh not following the, say, sinking in some depth.
Okay. Anyone else would like to add? Anyone?
He
Mataji?
is annoyed and seeking help,
He is,
forgetting,
okay. Mataji,
desperate to escape, but he is not able to, come out over
okay.
and extending hand so that somebody will help.
So he is drowning. The
Prabhuji,
picture of a person who is drowning in a river or ocean. Now, how can he can be taken out, or how he can be rescued from drowning?
The willpower and the faith in God.
Okay. In fact, he
Krishna
may be a
Mama.
very good swimmer, but if there is, he is very tired after, so much fear of drowning and whatever, he's in the middle of ocean, he can't swim to the shore. So he's seeking from help. Now, how somebody can rescue him? Not by holding his shirt or his dress. He has to be rescued by holding of some body part of his, maybe his hair or hand or whatever person rescuer decides to hold. So saving dress of a drowning man, if a person is drowning, if we are saving his dress, then he will not he can't be saved. What he has to be saved? He has to be caught hold of some body part of this drowning person has to be caught hold and then he pulled to the shore. Now this analogy reflects that the person is soul here and the dress is the body. So dress is not to be saved. The body is not to be saved. What is to be saved is the soul. If person drowns, that body and soul all will drown basically. But if it is to be rescued, if you pick up the shirt or some other garment of this person, drowning person, the garment will come out, of course, and the person will drown ultimately. So what is the purpose? Analogy means that we have to save the soul, and the same soul is eternal. So if the body is killed, even if body is killed by Arjuna, then the soul will not be killed. So person is eternal, and soul we know is eternal. It is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the reason, and here material conception, because person, Arjuna, at this moment is so materially obsessed with their bodies and with their appearances and physical frame of all his teachers and gurus. So he has concern with saving them rather than, because as I told you, they are going to ultimately die. So why not, for a righteous cause, kill them now? And of course, you will not be killing the soul. So this is the analogy to analogies given here. So chapter 2 discusses self-realization, how to realize that you are not body, you are not this body, your identity, real identity is soul, which is eternal. And this analytical study is meant for giving this knowledge that this body is actually material. It is not eternal. It is perishable. It is subject to changes, Jan, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, but the soul is eternal. So this is explained by Lord Krishna in chapter 2. We'll come to this analytical study or Sankhya shortly. So anybody would like to read the shloka also?
Hare Krishna, may I?
Yes, Mataji, shloka, please.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kustastua Kasmalam Idam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarya Justam Asvargyayam Akirti Karam Arjuna.
Yes, thank
The
you.
Supreme
Yeah,
the
continue.
Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the values of life. They lead not to higher planes but to infamy." Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Kutastwak kasmalam idam visme samuvis upasthitam. Kutas, from where this impurity has come into you? You are Arya. You are acting like an Arya. You are acting. What does Arya means? Arya is a person who is civilized, who knows the value of life, and who works for liberation. You are a Arya. You are a person born in a high family, and your activities are like an Arya, a person who is ignorant. So, and Justam Aswargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna. Arjuna, whatever you are doing, activity, the symptoms you are showing, or reasons which you are giving for not fighting, they will lead you to Aswargam. They will lead you not to higher planets. You will be going to hell for not fighting. Akirti Karam Arjuna, and you will earn infamy. That is, people will laugh at you. They will talk about you that the Kshatriya ran away from the battlefield and did not fight with the surrender before the enemy. So Krishna he knows that he is born of a good family, a very high family with high tradition and values. And you are acting at his anarya, your behavior is not like a civilized person or a arya, but arya should do in the battlefield. And from where this weakness or impurities have come into you, because your birth is very pure and high. So Krishna is now just trying to motivate him and remind him that he is a born high person and he has a duty to perform the battlefield as a Kshatriya. So this is the beginning how Krishna knows that how to motivate a person to do something or do the righteous activity. So further Krishna says, Klebyam mam isma gamha parth netatva upapadyate and shudram hriday dorvalyam tyakto vistista parantapa. Now we'll take up meaning word by word. Parantapa means person who can kill his enemies very effectively. And Arjuna, was a very big shooter. He was a master of the archery art. So Clevium mas isma gama partha. Clevium means impotency. Now you are a Kshatriya, a brave Kshatriya, but here you are acting like an impotent person. And this is degrading for a Kshatriya. It does not become for you. It is not appropriate for you to act in like this. And Shudram Hriday Dorvalyam, this is a petty weakness of your heart, which You have to give up this petty weakness of heart. Tyakt means give it up. So give up the petty weakness of your heart. And this petty weakness is in the form of decision not to fight. So you are the chastiser of enemy. You kill the enemy so effectively and so bravely. So why this kind of your heart impurity, and why this weakness in your heart has come up? So Krishna is just motivating him to come up to his expectation, and also he wants him to fight by reminding him of his birth, reminding him of his duty as a Kshatriya, and also as a being on the righteous path. So this is here what Krishna is saying. Yes, anybody would like to read this one?
May
Hare
I
Krishna.
continue?
Yes, Madhu.
May
Yeah, you
I?
can continue, Mataji. No problem, please.
Next
Okay,
one, Mataji.
okay. Arjuna Uvacha Katham Bhishmamaham Sankhe Dronam cha Madhusudana Ishubhi Pratiyotasyami Pujarahavari Sodana. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in-battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship?
Thank you, Mataji. Now, Ari Sudana. Ari is Pujar Bhava Ari Sudana. Ari means enemy. Sudan means one who kills because he is a killer. Madhu was the demon, and Sudan means killer. Krishna is called as Madhu Sudana, right? So Arjuna now says, Bhishma Pitame and all my elders and Drona, my guru of warfare, they are standing before me. How can I kill them? They have trained me in this art, and they are very respectful for me, and they are person worth of my worship, rather than I should kill them. So again here saying two things are given here. In the previous word, Bhagwan Uvacha we just said. Now, can anybody tell why Lord Krishna is said as Bhagwan Uvacha? It is in Bhagavad Gita, it is never Krishna Uvacha. It is all Bhagwan Uvacha. So why we call Krishna as Bhagwan? And what are his opulences? Anyone?
He is the knower and he is the Vande Jagat Guru.
Because he is the Supreme Lord.
Yes.
Lord.
Any other reasons? Why Bhagwan?
All change, all beauty,
Yes, that
all
is
richness,
very nice.
then full of knowledge, all knowledge.
Yes, Mataji.
And two more is there, richness.
One is renunciation.
Yes, Rinashi, thank you. So there are 5, there are 6 anyway, no problem. So there are 3 steps of God realization. God can be understood in 3 levels. The first level is realization of Brahman or the Brahmanic effulgence, right? Second stage of God realization is Paramatma stage. And third stage of realization of God is as Bhagwan feature form. Now let us take an analogy here. We see the sun, right? Now there is a person who doesn't look at the sun. He looks at the sun rays only, the light which is due to the sun rays. So that is equivalent to the Brahman realization. Now once somebody looks up in the sky and sees that there is a shining disk, which is probably sun, then that is a stage of Paramatma realization. And that somebody is more explorative. He would like to know who is in the sun disk, and there is sun god. We know there is sun god who is sitting in the sun disk. So sun god disk, when somebody knows that this sunlight is coming from sun god, that is Bhagwan feature of realization. Now Bhagwan is ultimate. The person who is realizing Brahmana feature of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is only a impersonalist. He believes that God has no form. God does not have any attributes. He does not perform any pastimes. So this is a partial realization, a very, very elementary realization of God. And second realization is Paramatma. Somebody knows that, oh, God is present in my heart is Paramatma, so, or super soul. So that is second stage of. The full realization or complete realization of Godhead is Bhagwan realization. And as Mataji told, Bhagwan has got 6 opulences. This is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. It is, he has full, all, we always use all, because no person has got, no other demigod has got all these virtues or these uh, qualities. All fame, all knowledge, all wealth, all, all strength, all beauty, and last is all renunciation. These 6 virtues are there, so that is why Lord Krishna is called Supreme Personality of Godhead. As I told you earlier, he is Adi Purush. He is the source of every creation that we can see or we cannot see, or even manifest or unmanifest. Whatever exists is all his creation, and he is the maintainer and annihilator also. Of course, like the Prime Minister distributes departments to different ministers for doing their duties, assigns them certain departments for activities or functions. Similarly, Lord Krishna has allotted so many departments to so many demigods, but they are acting under his direction. So that is why Lord Krishna is called Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no Godhead higher than, he is Adi Purush. He existed before no one existed. So everything is come, that is why we call him Adi Purush or primeval Lord. So that is why Krishna is called as Bhagavan. So now in this again, the Arjuna is very hesitant. Now he's giving another reason. After those 5 reasons, he says that these are my worshipable or so respected person. Even if they are wrong, I want to forgive them for their lapses, but I won't like to kill them, because killing them, and indirectly, Arjuna is also hinting towards Krishna, can you kill your grandfather Ugrasen, or can you kill your Sandipani Guru, who was your spiritual master? This is indirect hint towards Krishna, that how can I, when you can't kill them, how can I kill my Guru and my elders? So, yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji, the one who could not.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I
Mataji,
will read it.
yes, please. Thank you.
Gurun Ashtava hi Mahanurvavan Shreyo Bhoktam Vaishakshyam Apiha Loke Hatvartha Kamamstu Gurun Ihaiva Bhunjiya Bhogan Rudhira Pradigdhan. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mate. Gurun Hatva hi Mahan Bhavan Shreyo Bhoktam Vaksham Apiha Loke. He said it is better to beg and in the forest and live. It is better rather than killing my gurus, who are Mahanubhav, who are very respected and worshipful persons. So, Hatvarth Kamast Guru Nihaiva Munji Bhogan Rudhir Pradigdan. After killing them, if I enjoy, I cannot enjoy the kingdom. I cannot, be happy in my kingdom after killing my gurus or teachers. Now, do we think that this Vishnu Pitame and Dronacharya, they were, or Dronacharya in particular as a teacher who explained to him or taught him in the warfare, in the battlefield, was the righteous person at this stage? Do we consider him as a righteous person?
No.
Why? What is the reason why we don't consider him as righteous?
Because he did not object to all the gambling illegal gambling that took place And then he did not object Draupadi being pulled to the assembly hall.
Yes, Mate. That is
So
very
all
well.
these things.
These are the reasons. Thank you very much, Mate. So, he was not, cannot be said that he was a righteous guru, so far a spiritual master for Arjuna. Why? As you said, firstly, he did not object to the gambling match. Gambling should not have been permitted. Secondly, he did not object when Shakuni was cheating. Thirdly, he did not object when they were humiliating Draupadi Ma. And lastly, in fact, they were in they financially, they were dependent on Duryodhana or Dhritarashtra. So they should have discriminated. They should have given the fair opinion or fair opinions at the time when these evil activities were taking place. So a guru can be abandoned under three conditions. Number one, when he takes decision on the basis of his financial assistance. Number two, he performs any abominable activities. And third, when he loses the power of discrimination. What is right, what is wrong, if he does not give this opinion, then he must be forgiven. He cannot hold the place or the honorable place of being a teacher or guru. So he says, now he is such a saintly. It also reflects this paragraph also reflects that he is such saintly person that he wants to forgive them, he wants to forego the kingdom, and also he has no material attachment to being the king of Hastinapur. Because everybody would like to be king, because the outcome was clear that with Krishna, they are going to win and, of course, rule the throne of Hastinapur. So, but he was such saintly person, and he had no material attachment, and this is one of the virtue of a pure Vaishnava. The Vaishnavas are not affected by material entanglement. They control their mind and senses to this extent. So this is further saying that how can I kill such respectable persons? Because my hands, the throne will be tainted with the blood of my gurus and elders. That it is not nice. So let me go to forest and beg and earn a livelihood. I don't want to fight this battle. Yes. Yes. Anybody would like to read now next? Even English translation, no problem. This is 2.6.
May I, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
न चैतद् विद्मः कतर्णानो गरीयो यद्वा जायमायदीवानो जाययुः यानेव हत्वानाम् अजीजीविष्यामस् ते वसस्थितः ताः परामुखे धारत्राष्ट्रः.
Now he's saying,
Nor do we know
yes, Mataji,
which
please
is
continue.
better, conquering them or being conquered by them. Indecision. Hare Krishna.
This is sixth reason which we gave, 2.6, that I don't know, I'm confused. Which is better, to conquer these people by killing them and be the king of Hastinapur, or being conquered by them? So I'm totally indecisive. I'm not clear that what should I do in these circumstances. Yes. Anybody would like to read this one?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
May I try?
Yes, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
कार्पण्डे दोष पथ सर्वच्च प्रोचम तवम धर्म समुद इतः यक्ष्रियन् सन निश्चम पुरः तन्मय शिष्यते हम सदीमम तमम प्रपरमनम. Arjun said, how I am confused about my duty. I am your discipline and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is very important verse here. Now this is brings about the entire change from dasyam, from sakhyam, it is now dasyam. He is accepting Krishna as his spiritual master or guru. And you know, when we are confused, we do not know something, we do not find a solution to some problem, we consult our elders, we consult our teachers. This is what Arjuna is doing now, explaining everything very clearly as a friend. Now he has surrendered to Lord Krishna. कार्पण्य दोषो पहता स्वभाव प्रक्षामि त्वाम धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता यक्षे स्यानिश्चितम ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्ते अहम साधि माम त्वाम प्रपन्नम. Now, due to this, Karpanya dosha means miserly weakness of the heart, of Pahata Swabhava. I'm afflicted with this weakness of heart now, miserly weakness in my heart, and I'm very confused at this stage. So now, confused about what? Confused about my duty in the battlefield. Should I fight or should I quit? So, Yakshe Shan Nishchitam Bruhitanme. Therefore, I am asking you for certain. Nishchitam means for certain. Bruhitanme, I am asking you. Shish Yakshe, what is good for me? I am asking you with full surrender to you. Shishyasate aham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Now I am a surrendered soul. I am your disciple, and please guide me. What should I do? I surrender unto you. So this is the transition stage from chapter 1 to 2, and entire Gita now he will be asking question as a disciple, and Lord Krishna will be giving answers to his doubts and clearing his doubts and giving answers to his questions. So this is very sloka. I will request each one to please remember this or memorize this one. Karpane dosho pehta swabhava prakshami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yaksheha shani nishchitam bruhitanme shishyaste aham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is the change of situation now. You will remember in chapter number 1, when he was explaining the destruction of dynasty, he was telling Krishna as if Krishna did not know this thing. You remember, he is stepping step by step. He is explaining to Krishna, this will happen if this I do, this will happen. So now Krishna was smiling only, he was listening. And in 1.25 only, Krishna just said once, in chapter number 1, he was just listening quietly what Arjuna was saying. And this is the beauty of a spiritual master. He listens the heart and mind of, reads and listens to the heart and mind of a disciple, then he intervenes. So Arjuna continues to give reasons for not fighting and finally surrenders. So this is what we have seen, that Karpanya dosha is heard, and Shudra Hriday Durvalam, we heard about it. So by nature's way, so now Kripanas, Karpanya dosha is Kripanas is miserness by way, nature's way, material activities, then source of perplexities, that is forest fire, and surrender to bona fide spiritual master, then Krishna. So this is what is happening here because of his, attachment to the body concept of life. That was a material activity, and he was perplexed, and he was not sure what to do, and he was indecisive in the last stage. Then he surrenders to his bona fide. So we must surrender to our bona fide spiritual master. There are so many masters, spiritual gurus and sannyasis and all. They are talking about surrender and all these things in television, but probably they are not from this section. Their parampara is not there. So what they are telling is not authentic that way. But bona fide spiritual master has got received knowledge from parampara system. And Krishna was the source of that parampara. He is the original spiritual master. So he can give the knowledge of self-realization. So self-realization can be attained only this rasta. Either we go through material activities and then search to the, or we just take shelter of a pure devotee of Krishna or pure Vaishnava, then also we can learn these things. So now from 2.11 to 30 is about Gyan Yoga. Fight, there is no death for the soul. That we have seen that you will rescuing a person who is drowning is to be not to be saved by holding his dress outer dress, but he has to be caught hold. His body part has to be caught hold if you want to rescue him and take him out of the water. So this is what is happening here. Now, yes, 2.11. Somebody would like to read it?
Hare Krishna, may I?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asosyan Anabhasho Sastvam Prajana Badams Cha Bhasase Gatasun Agatasams Cha Nanuso Chanti Panditaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Smilingly, he notices that he is confused and he is talking such nice words, such all the reasons he is giving. So that is, this knowledge is not of an ordinary person. He is a very learned person. You are talking about so many analytical parts of material knowledge and is spiritual knowledge, and he is giving so many reasons for not fighting, not killing your elders and seniors and gurus. So you know so much, but you are lamenting for something for which you should not lament. Asocyan anvasochas tom pragna vadamas cha bhashase. You're talking about, but the person nanu sochanti pandita, a learned person does not think on these lines, does not communicate on these lines. So you are a wise person. You should not lament. You should not lament for even the living person or the non-living person. But why Krishna is saying is so? Because he knows that each and every living person who has taken birth in this earth will ultimately die. He has to leave. So whether you kill for a just cause, then as a Kshatriya, you earn a place in the heaven if you get killed. And if you win the war, then you will rule and enjoy the opulences of the throne. So this is what Krishna is saying, that you should not lament for either living or dead ultimately, because all of them are going to die ultimately. So this is further explained. I will explain it here. Lord Krishna, taking role of a spiritual master, he chastises Arjuna. He is now tough with Arjuna, in fact, basically, because he is such a wise man. And why this the miserliness in his heart or weaknesses of heart should be shown in the battlefield where he is standing to fight his enemies. So Krishna says, first Krishna says he chastises Arjuna, talking like a learned man, but he is a fool. Spiritually, you are not talking sensible things. Who is a learned man? Learned man is a person who differentiates between matter and spirit or soul, who differentiates between the body and soul. And Krishna is the controller of both. Because we talked about Rishikesha. Rishikesha, what does Rishikesha means? What does it mean? Rishikesha?
Controller of
Master of
senses.
Master of
and
sense.
controller of
Senses.
all.
Yes, Mataji. Controller or master of senses. And he is not only controller or master of senses, he controls the senses and mind and senses of all pure devotees. He guides them. Now, Arjuna is a pure devotee, a surrendered soul unto him. So he is now controlling his senses. And this is what the message of Gita is being delivered in this manner. So you're a learned man. You should differentiate between matter and spirit. You should differentiate between, through analytical study, which Krishna just now mentioned, that these people are just not, body. They are soul also, and the soul is not going to be killed by if you kill them bodily. So learned man knows what difference. What does a learned person knows? That body is temporary and soul is permanent or eternal. It does not die. Do not lament for bodily, whether it is dead or alive. Body is born and destined to vanquish, that will disappear ultimately. Therefore, body is not as important as soul. So let them die. So learned man also differentiates between that soul is eternal and body or soul is eternal, but body is temporary only. It is going to last a couple of days later. So, yes, next one. 2.12.
Can I say?
Yes, Mataji, please.
न त्वेवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं मे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्.
Yes. That never was.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be.
Thank you, Mataji. So, na tva eva aham jatu nasham. Na tva, neither you, evam aham, that is nor me, jatu nasham, were perished. They always were there and they will always be there, because soul is just transferred from one body to another form of life. So soul was eternal. So this is what Krishna is telling. Na tvam maybe Janadhipata, and all the kings who are standing, Janadhipat means all the kings who are standing here in the battlefield, they also never, they were also always there. Na chaiv na bhavishyamaha, neither now nor in the future. Sarve vayam atah param. All are eternal and they will never cease to be. Even if you kill them today, they will not cease to exist. They will continue to exist. So this is the knowledge Krishna is giving here. Never was it, the meaning of this, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be existing. So Krishna is supreme, eternal being, because as I told you, he is Adi Purush, he is primeval Lord. But he knows about each and every living entity, both in their conditioned and liberated states. Conditioned, we are conditioned. Everybody in the material world is conditioned. The soul is conditioned. And those who are liberated, Krishna knows about their thousands of births before and after also. So liberated, not really there afterwards, but for material people, for conditioned soul, he knows each and every aspect of all the living entities. So that means he is telling, even if you kill, they will not cease to exist. They will continue to exist in some other form based on their karma. So this is a knowledge he is giving. Yes, anyone would like to read this? Yes, Mataji.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनां जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिर्धीरास्तत्र न मोहति. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from bodyhood to the youth to the old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, dehino asmin yatha dehi kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. Dehino asmin yatha dehi. Embodied soul. We know this is the blue spark in each of these human figure is the soul. The soul does not undergo any change. You can see the same size and same shape or effulgence is maintained here. Whether is there, now what happens? Dehant dehe dehno asmin yatha dehi kaumaram yavnam jalad. There is a birth, then there is a childhood, and there is a adulthood, and after adulthood, a full man is there. Gradually, he becomes aged, or he becomes old, and thereafter, he gets disease, and ultimately he disappears. So then again, a new person is born. So this is a continuous change. Dehnu asmin yatha dehi kaumaram yauvanam jara. Kaumaram is adulthood, yauvanam is adulthood, kaumaram is childhood, jaram is old age, tatha dehantar praptir. Thereafter, when death happens, dhiras tatra namuhyate. Dhiras means a person who is established, who is a, sthit pragya, or who is a noble person. He is not mohite, he is not moved by all these changes which body undergoes, because he knows that he is not this body which is subject to many changes during lifetime. He is the eternal soul which does not undergo any kind of change. So this change of body must be rejoiced. That must be enjoyed. Krishna is telling him that whether they are young or your friends or your friends' sons or cousins or their sons or their pitamah, this is only external body which is undergoing this change. So you can kill them. There is no issue, because they will never be. And the person who is established in this knowledge, he should not get disturbed or bewildered by such a kind of change. So next one. Anyone else? Somebody who has not read so far or recited a shloka or meaning? Anything you like to? Please don't feel hesitate. Don't hesitate if you can't read. Dr. Ipsita, Mataji, Simon Cole, Siraja Paudel, you have not.
Sure, Prabhuji. Shall I try?
Yes,
Please,
please.
please
No
pardon
problem.
me. It won't be good.
No, please, Mataji, please continue.
Matra sparshasthu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agama payino nityasthan sthiti kshasva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O Shion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
So this is the message for all of us. Matra sparshstu kaunteya Sitoshna sukh dukkha da agama payuno anityas tamas titikshap bharata. O son of the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress. Nothing is permanent. We know that neither happiness stay for always, all the times, neither distress remains every time. This is a changing thing. Similarly, as you know, seasons keep on changing. See, one after summer, then winters, like all those changes keep on taking, but they are taking place. So one should be able to tolerate these changes effectively and efficiently, and do not forget his prescribed duty, which is he is supposed to perform. So, ISKCON of Bharata, you are a role model person. So you must tolerate the killing of these persons who are on path of irreligion. So it shall not incur any kind of. As the seasons keep on changing, similarly, the dualities of life will come, but a person who is established, who is dhira, sthit pragya we talked about in the beginning, be sthit pragya, don't be affected by the dualities or contrast situations in life. Don't think about pleasure or pain. Don't think about victory or defeat. Don't think about their dying. So, and stand up and fight. This is the message Krishna is going to give. Yeah. Next one, anyone who has not tried, please. Does not matter. It is Sanskrit, is not, I know, nobody is proficient, amongst us. Even English translation, if you like to.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Yam hina vayachyante
व्यथन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषरशभा मृतत्वाय कल्पते. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Hare Krishna.
The indication here is be sthit pragya, be established in full knowledge. Then you will not be affected by any kind of opposing or contrast situations or dualities of life. So the message in the earlier verse was, in fact, that message here was that whatever be the conditions, you should fight here. They arise from sense perception because our senses test the sense objects and we feel whether it is hot or cold, or whether senses our tell or mind or tells about whether we are happy or sorrowful. So don't be affected by these things, and these are just temporary things. You must fight. So here it is said, O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. A person who is sthit pragya, who is not affected or moved by dualities, or who is not materially involved or conscious of his body, who realizes that soul is eternal, the changes are just temporary for the body, then he can be a good candidate for liberation. So this is section 1. I will stop here. This next tomorrow again we'll continue from this point. These are 15 verses, and I'll try to stick to the time. It is already 8:10, 8:08. So attendance link has been posted by Kirti Mataji perhaps. So please mark your attendance as she has requested. So please mark your attendance. The form has been, Mataji had been very kind to, bring about certain changes in the form. The problem you faced yesterday is done away with. So please fill in the form. And any doubts and questions, meanwhile, please ask. You're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, I missed the class yesterday, so if I can have the recording.
Yes, Mataji, the playlist shall be shared again. There is a playlist right from the day 1 we started. All lectures except day 1. Day 2 onwards, everything is recorded, available on YouTube. You click the link, you go there, and all the recordings, of glories of holy name, then the Shavtar and this Bhagavad Gita. Whatever we have covered, it is on net.
Thank
you. Hare Krishna. Any doubt or any questions related to this stage?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a question. I don't know how to ask. The thing is, before this shloka, one of the shloka, Bhagwan explains that, whoever is, the soul is eternal. So whoever is dying, he will once again go to the next birth. Okay. So, and even in our first level 1, we have studied that there are 84 lakh species. Out of that, only 4 lakh is human being.
Yes.
So looking into that, there are 2 questions I have in my mind. That does it necessary that if a human being is die as a human, next birth will be as a human only, or does it depends on the karma? And my second question is, if that is the case, the number of human is increasing, the population, we can say the global population is increasing. How the thing is, how Gita is justifying, Bhagvat is justifying for that? I don't know it is appropriate or not. It came in my mind. That's why I asked Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
We are in the first question regarding, are we going to get a human birth in next life or not? Now, as you already answered the question, it is the desire or our boundaries. Our activities decide, or our actions decide our next form of life. And God is very, very merciful, like a loving Father. Whatever we have done during this period of life, in mode of ignorance, passion, or goodness, in goodness also, if we have done some good activities, fruitful activities, pious activities, we are bound by certain reactions to those, and those binding effect results into our re-entering into the cycle of birth and death. Now, if our activities are good, pious, and we have not enjoyed the fruits of our activities or benefits of our material activities, offer the results also to Lord, that is Nishkam Karma Yoga or Akarma we have done, then we are stand a chance of liberation. Liberation from the cycle of re-entering into the cycle of birth and death, and probably might, if we have in a higher stage, three modes of material we know: goodness, passion, and intelligence. The fourth level of material nature is Shuddha, Vishuddha Tattva or Vishnu Sattva. Vishnu Sattva means we are above the mode of goodness. If we are achieve that stage, then we can get complete liberation from the cycle of, then we go to Goloka Vrindavana. Now in mode of goodness, if we do a lot of good activities, and of course we enjoy the fruits also, we offer to Lord also, then it is binding. Then on our next birth is in the higher planets, and we enjoy all appearances, enjoy a long life. But as soon as the credit of our good actions exhausts, we have to come back to material world again and take birth again, maybe as a human being or maybe a lower form. Now, persons in mode of passion and goodness, they keep on taking birth in material world or in lower hellish planets. So our karmas in this life will decide, and two things decide what kind of form is being attained in the next life. Our karma in this life, and also the intense desires or propensities at the time of leaving our body, they determine what kind of form we are going to take. Now, when person dies, his gross body is finished. It is burnt and mixes up into the 5 elements, gross elements. But the subtle body, is carried. And what is subtle body? It is mind, intelligence, our mind, intelligence, and false ego. They form our subtle body, which is carried forward. Memory also. Sorry, there are 4 elements in the subtle body: mind, intelligence, memory, and our soul. So these go, and these mind, intelligence, and memory, and our soul. They form the subtle body, which is carried forward. Now, Lord glances at this, just a little glance of Lord, and the material nature, according to our desire or our activity, gives us a life form. Maybe lower planets, maybe higher planets, or maybe again in human form. So Lord is very nice. Person who have done their sadhana and could not complete it, or might have fallen down from that, and from that high place of devotion, then Lord gives us a chance again. We will come to it in further chapters of Bhagavad Gita. He gives birth to us in a aristocratic family where all opportunities for our sadhana are there. He gives us really a chance to be born in a Krishna conscious family where we continue our journey. So these are possibilities. Then why population is increasing? I can't answer this question, because of this 84 lakh births, we do not know how many people. These are but life forms. 84 are yoni only. But how many persons are passing in each yoni, that is not counted, that is not mentioned in the scriptures either. So why population is increasing or decreasing, or why can't this, I can't answer, Mataji. I don't know, frankly. Hare Krishna. Does it satisfy your question, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Partially, the first part is very clear, very clear. Maybe the second part, I need to dig something. Maybe even if you come across any answer, Prabhuji, I will be completely attending your class. Just throw some light. That will clarify
I'll
me.
try to, but Mataji, let us be very straight. Just stick to what Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in his purpose, what Lord Krishna is saying. These on hearsay basis, on speculation basis, we do not talk. We talk only what Lord Krishna has said and what Srila Prabhupada in his purpose has mentioned. We restrict our opinion. We don't give our opinions. We can't. We are forbidden. We are, because we are not authorized. We are not competent.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to say anything? If not, then we can close today's session. Thank you very much for your association, Prabhuji and Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, and also wish you a very Krishna conscious period ahead. Please fill in your attendance. So I'll closing prayer now. Vancha kalpatarubhyash kripa sindhuva evcha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namah. Anant Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All devotees Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, and Dandvat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Mataji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Krishna
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.